So this week we're going to go ahead and learn all about artist Paul Klee and some of his artworks. This is one of my favorite quotes by Paul Klee, and it is, "A line is a dot that went for a walk." Paul Klee was a very famous painter. He was born December 18th, 1879 in Switzerland. His parents were musicians. His father was a music teacher and his mother was a singer. So as a young boy, he followed his parents' footsteps and studied music. But by the time he was a teen, he realized that he wanted to study art. So at this point, Paul Klee studied art at an art school in 1898. He went to the Academy of Fine Arts in Munich. And Klee was inspired by Cubism, which is a style we've learned about with Pablo Picasso, and Delaunay's brave use of color. So this was another artist that inspired him. And these two things are very important because they'll play a big role in our art project for this week and, of course, in Paul Klee's artwork. This is an example of one of his artworks. This is called Cat and Bird, and he made this in 1928. You can see here all the nice shapes that he's used, and of course, the very bold colors that he said he loved to use. This is called Senecio, and it was made in 1922. And you can see here the style of Cubism, which is when you use shapes to create art. And we have here a very important piece of artwork called Castle and Sun, and you can see him use a lot of different shapes. What shapes do you see when you look at this artwork? I can see triangles, circles, squares, rectangles, and so forth. So there's many different shapes within this artwork, and this is super important to us because we'll be recreating this in our own style. And this is one of the last artworks we're going to see for today. And this is called Resting Ships. And he created this in 1927. And this is what his work looked like. A lot of shapes and very bold colors. So, what are we making this week? Well, we're making Paul Klee's castle, like I mentioned earlier. So what I want you to do is to get ready and gather your materials for this project. Make sure you grab a piece of paper, that's the most important, and a pencil, and then anything else that you'd like to use to color. It could be watercolors, markers, or anything else that you can think of. So pay attention. We're going to go ahead and watch the demonstration next. Hi there, boys and girls. So we're going to go ahead and now get started working with our Paul Klee castle. So we're going to go ahead and first make sure we have a piece of paper and a pencil, and also make sure that you have the supplies that you'll be using to go ahead and work on this project. Now you may use any supplies that you have. You can use watercolors, you can use crayons, you can use markers, whatever you may have. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by showing you how to create the drawing step by step. Now, let's remember Paul Klee's artwork. His artwork has a lot of shapes in it. It has a lot of triangles, rectangles, ovals, squares, you name it. There's many different things. So we're trying to recreate that in our own style. Okay, so everyone's is going to look different from one another, and that's wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, there is a worksheet that shows you step by step about how many shapes you would like to have on your castle, but of course you can add or change things as you please. Okay, I'm going to attach this worksheet that shows everything step by step as well on Google Classroom. Alright dear kiddos, so we're going to go ahead and start off by making a nice tall rectangle. It's going to be very narrow or thin, just like this. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and start adding more Okay, as I go along, you're gonna notice that they're very close and they're stuck together. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make another. It's gonna be a little shorter. I'm gonna make another one similar to the height of this one. And then again, just notice how I'm taking my time with everything. I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time. I'm making some that are a little wider. And you can add as many buildings or parts to your castle as you'd like. I just want to make sure I fill up my page. All right. So now we have all of our shapes here done and they're ready to go. So now we're gonna go ahead and add the triangles to the top of each building. And watch how I do that. There you go. Now go ahead and also add details to your castle. So you can add as many windows, doors, or anything else that you'd like to your castle. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make mine. I'm gonna make a nice little door for everyone to enter. And then I'm gonna start adding windows and such to all of my other buildings. All right, there's my castle. It's done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add just a couple more details to the sky. I'm gonna add the sun, or it could be the moon. It depends on how you feel. You can draw the sun or the moon. And then I'm gonna go ahead and also add some clouds to my sky. Again, it'll depend on what time of day it is or even how the weather is outside where your castle may be. Okay, there's my castle with my windows and all the details that I wanted to add. Of course, I can always go back and add some more. I'm gonna put some little flags. Some little flags on my buildings. You can do whatever you'd like with your castle. Just make sure that we keep in mind that it has to look similar to what Paul Klee has used in his artwork. And in his artwork, we know that he used many types of shapes like rectangles, squares, and triangles and such. So you may add and change what you'd like about your castle, as long as you keep the idea that this is inspired by Paul Klee. Okay, everybody? Now, it's my favorite part of every project it's time to color. So you're gonna go ahead and color next. You can color your castle however you'd like. Let's just think about all the many colors that we saw in Paul Klee's artwork and how beautiful it looked with all the different colors. So I'm gonna do the same thing here with mine. Of course, they're not gonna be exactly the same as the colors he used, right? They're gonna be some of my favorite colors. So let's go ahead and create our castle and let's get to coloring. Alright, boys and girls, this is the Paul Klee castle all done. Now I'm going to pull up here on the side Paul Klee's original artwork, Castle and Sun. And you're going to see it here. Let's compare. So we're trying to see what things are the same about this our artwork and his artwork, and what things are different. Now, let's look at some things that are the same. What do you see that's similar or the same? You can see the shapes, right? The shapes are similar or the same. And what else? We can tell that the color choices, right? They're very brave and bold, and they're similar to what Paul Klee has done with his artwork. Okay? Some differences are the color choices we made aren't exactly like his, but they're bold, right? And the amount of shapes that are in our art piece versus his are not the same, right? Ours is a little different. And this is how ours will look similar to. Now, your artwork does not need to look exactly like mine. So what I want you to do is just keep in mind what your favorite colors are, what time of day you want it to be, and all of those things. Maybe you want to add more details to your artwork than I did to mine. So you may want to add things inside of the windows as well. And that's up to you because you're the artist, and of course, that's our goal, right? Everyone has a different art piece. We're not trying to copy, all right? So we're gonna go ahead. I hope you enjoyed all of the assignment of the week, creating your own Paul Klee inspired castle, and also learning a little bit about Paul Klee. We'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.